orders next month. Next order of new business will be the county clerk would like to discuss some things about payroll.
First of all, I would like to say that there has been several employees throughout the past several months come and ask that I bring this to you and ask that you change the pay date from the 15th and the last of the month to every other Friday. If we do that, we will need a week holdback. And if you look at the paper I handed out, it will be just in front of your comp time. There's a payroll schedule, how we propose to do the week holdback, and that would be to take 1 day per pay period. So if we change that to getting paid every other Friday, then you would have 10 paydays, but we would do 9 paydays for 5 weeks, and that's how we would get our week holdback. We think this is a good idea because we've had a lot of laws that are changing, mainly the Affordable Care Act. We have to keep track of the amount of hours an employee works. If they go over 29 hours a week and they go over a certain amount each month, then we have to offer them insurance. So that's another way that we can track it if we have the timesheets back every other Monday. Then we can kind of look at it and say, okay, you know, is this time, is this, you know, there's more than 29 hours this week. Are you paying them 29 hours? Are they taking comp time? So that we can keep track of that, because we do have to report it to ACA. And if anybody does go over the 29 hours, and I believe it's 80 hours, 79 hours a month, we will offer them insurance because we're required by law to do that. The penalties went from $250 a month last year up to $250,000 this year. So we don't want our office to fall in that and cost the county money as well, and for me to be in trouble either. So we would like to ask that you think about that. And then we've also been asked about direct deposit. I checked with the bank, and if we go direct deposit, it will go into our bank, and then it will be dispersed into whichever bank that the employee chooses. Not every employee has to take it. Those that want to can, those that don't would still get a check. So, and then the last thing, that the phone's been ringing off the wall. People want to know when can they have their incentive pay. That's the big one. And then I have a question about that as well. So, we're going to do one at a time, and you'll just keep going.
So Rhonda, you're saying that if an employee chooses not to have health insurance through the county, if he works more than 29 hours, you're saying that
We don't offer health insurance to part-time employees.
part-time employees? Oh, okay.
So if it's under 79 hours a month or 29 hours a week, we don't offer that to them. But if they go over that, we have to, by law.
But they don't necessarily have to take it.
No,
If
but,
they've got insurance elsewhere, then the county would.
but if they do want it, and we have had some employees that do.
But I'm just saying, it's not either or. I mean, well, even though we have to offer it, if they've got
They don't have
insurance
to take
someplace
it,
else,
no.
they don't have to take it.
Right.
I think
That's
that's
correct. That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I was.
But I would think the department heads that's using this part-time work to keep a pretty close eye on that. It ain't really your
Most of
place
the
to-
time, but sometimes, you know, you just get busy and, you know, you can't always check that every single time. That's why we're there to help watch it as well.
Well, I can see where people would rather have a check on every Friday.
Every other day.
Or every other Friday, but, then semi-monthly, because it might come on Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
Or whatever. and
Well,
Most
and
people want.
even as far as the
Don't
time
do
sheets
that.
being turned in,
Yeah.
this way they know, every other Monday, the time sheets come in. You know, sometimes we get to the point where we're like, okay, we're waiting on time sheets, we can't do payrolls, we can okay, tomorrow. But the 15th is Monday, which is a holiday.
Right.
What about all the people that are gonna work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then come in Tuesday, and we're gonna get the crowd sheets?
Yeah.
You know, that's not good.
They're just guessing what they have to, they're turning in their time heads.
And then we have to adjust it the next pay
They've been,
period.
if they have to change the time, then you have to adjust it for,
Right,
you know,
that's,
and then the
right,
sheriff comes to.
right. And so that's why we also need the week hold back,
Yeah.
so.
I agree, we need to hold that for.
This will have to be done in form of ordinance, won't it?
Yes.
A new ordinance.
Yes.
What changes will that do to your office in like computer work?
Well, because we got the new system, we can put in dates, print out, you know, any reports we need. As far as what it will do, we will do payroll 26 times a month, or a year instead of 24. The difference in your pay, if you make $24,000 a year, and you get paid 24 times a year, that's $1,000. If you divide it 26 times a year, then you're gonna get 925, about. Don't quote me on that, but it's about that. So, every 2 weeks, you're gonna get less money, but you're gonna get paid more often, so it's gonna help the ones, it's gonna help a lot of them that live paycheck to paycheck.
Well, we'll do.
And the
I
direct,
wanted to get your opinion on things first before we.
and on the direct deposit, I printed out the law on that.
But you're gonna leave that up to the employee's discretion.
On the direct deposit?
Yes. But before we do electronic warrants, under 1424, 121, that will have to go before the legislative joint audit committee before we can implement that. We're going to pass the ordinance. We do electronic warrant transfer systems directly into the pays account. And once that ordinance is done, then we'll take that, that'll have to go to the legislative joint audit committee for approval. You know, so that's why we didn't do it. It's gonna take a month or two before we can actually implement this stuff.
The employees will have to fill out forms if they want that. There is no charge for that, by the way, the bank will not charge us for that. It may save a little bit of money, but, you know,
The integrity bank will be the administrator.
yes.
I personally don't see a problem with it, you know.
Well, like they're paying, some of these people are struggling. You know, once in a while, you're gonna have a month with 5 weekends, and then sometimes they're gonna go 3 weekends without a paycheck. You know, that's a long time to go.
Well, that's not now, we're getting paid tomorrow, which is the 12th. We'll get paid again until, well, the 29th because it's a shorter month, but.
If it was the 31st, it'd be a long
it'd be
time to the
long,
next pay period,
it'd be
yes.
long, you know.
Well, I guess on the first part, I guess I would move that we get a, draft an ordinance, look at the next meeting for electronic, warrant transfer.
Well, it changed, also it changed, and I'm adding to it, but, and adding
So
to
the
it.
24 pay periods to 26 pay periods.
That may be on separate, ordinance on it. I think separate ordinance.
And then if we do that, then you don't see a problem with doing the week hold back, no.
I don't, I mean, that's, the employees, they probably don't, I mean,
It may hurt a little while, but it ain't gonna hurt bad.
Well,
the way.
it may, but then they're not gonna have to stretch it as far, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the ones that give the incentive, that's gonna help, and it's tax time now, so we're trying to move on it as fast as we can, so that it don't hurt them as bad. I mean, they're still gonna get their same amount of money in a year's
Take
time.
longer to get it.
Well, they're gonna get it sooner, but not, I mean, you know.
Well, one day deal.
Well, that day holdback, that's it.
Have you thought about how you're gonna educate the employees about how it's gonna work?
We thought we would let all the officials from the department.
What we need to
But,
let me say that when, Madam Clerk brought this to my office, first thing called elected officials meeting. And I told them what I wanted was to take it back to everybody's employees. Like I took it back to my road department employees, my transfer station employees. I went to the 911, all the employees I was, and we voted them, you know. Now, I'm not saying it was 100%, but every one of my departments, the majority ruled and was for every one of these, you know. And that's
Every
something
department.
I asked every elected official to go back and then contact Ronald, and I assume they did.
Yes.
So every employee is aware of this. I think in my road department, I had 2 that didn't want direct deposit, 2 didn't want payback,
Well,
and
that's,
2 didn't want.
That's
And they were
still-
both the same employees on all 3, they just said no on everything, and that's fine.
well, that's, they've got the option on the electronic.
Oh, yeah, the electronic, yeah, they
The thing about this also is the money will go in the night before payday. So if you are on vacation, if you're sick, if you're working that second shift, you can't get to the bank, it's there. I mean,
Well, that's an option. I mean, you
in
know,
my
anymore-
opinion, it's a win-win, but now.
Anymore, a lot of people want that option. You know. I'm a little bit like, when I've got a check coming, I wanna see that check, you know, make sure I got it, and not trust the bank, you know, but.
Well, let's do this. I'm gonna do that, so I can have access to it right now.
They'll get us stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
good
I-
stuff.
Is there, we need any more discussion on this? I know you started to, but any other questions on, we wanna do each proposal, or do all 3 of them, changing paydays from semi-monthly to bi-weekly, a week holdback and direct deposit, or do y'all want to, I'm asking you, the court, do y'all
Well, if the-
want to
if the
do each
employees-
one, or do the packet?
If the employees voted in favor of it, then I don't see why we
I think
should.
the package can be done with it.
Yeah.
That's y'all's choice.
Everything.
Okay, you want that motion?
Do we need these in two separate?
No, just,
The electronic can go on the same one?
that y'all are gonna, authorize us to move forward with this. Because next month, we'll have to try to get the ordinance ready and all that, you know.
I move to draft that, y'all draft an ordinance to do the electronic warrant transfer as well as the, pay changes that's been discussed here this evening.
I've got a motion on the table by Justice Furman to, start the paperwork and have an ordinance ready for the Quorum Court to look at the next meeting for the semi-monthly, the bi-weekly, also a week holdback and the direct deposit. And the direct deposit, the ordinance will be for the direct deposit.